Good morning, Woodcrest. So glad you could join us today on this very, very cold morning. Hope you're tucked away and warm wherever you are, and thanks for joining us. We thought we'd throw together a little something to kind of continue our series on learning to move again, and also to give you a little bit of a preview of next week, and we hope that you will join us next week. But this week, I have a special guest who thinks it's a little colder than some of us do, Matt Gordon.
Hey.
Matt, how's it going?
It's cold.
Are you still cold?
It's pretty cold.
You're gonna have to take your layers off. I can't understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Sorry, the little technical difficulty.
It's chilly. You haven't been out. There's a reason why we're not gathered today. Yeah, I can remove some of these layers. Are you layered? You didn't go out in that, I hope.
No, I've already delayered.
I think as a Christian, I believe in heaven.
Yes.
It's never going to feel like this.
No.
Like, I got these kids, and people are always like, you're going to miss this. And then I'm changing diapers, like, not this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, man, I wish I had some poop on my hands. Yeah. Like, that's just...
No, you're
and
not
so,
gonna
like, when
miss
I'm in
that.
heaven, I'm not going to be like, gosh, could we, Jesus, -10? Can we get the wind chill going?
Yeah, no. You won't miss that. You won't miss this. You don't like cold, evidently.
77, no humidity. Yeah, I got, like, 2 pairs of pants on, several socks.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of shirts.
You can't run from it today. It's everywhere in the country, though. So
Yeah.
no matter where you live, it's cold.
Layers, dog.
Yeah. You know how to do it.
Yeah.
But you're always cold, though.
I run pretty cold.
Yeah, and your office is freezing. Yeah. If anyone ever visits you at work, it's frigid in there.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's not you have a heater. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that.
Yeah, contraband.
Oh,
secret
be careful.
Heater.
That could be the end. So we're continuing our series on learning to move.
Yeah.
Again.
It's a snow day. It gets cold. And so you just sit bundled like I was just doing. But like when the snow stops and it melts, that's kind of what we're talking about. Like you got to be ready to move. You got to be ready for spring. You got to be ready to go.
Right.
And so you hunker down, you prepare for the season that you're given, but you're ready to run into new seasons.
Have you ever been snowed in?
Like real snowed in?
Yeah, like you can't drive out of your driveway. You lived in the country, but you were pretty far south.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been marooned in a way where I couldn't leave my drive. Now, it wasn't safe to leave. I've done that before.
Right.
I've always had 4-wheel drive vehicle. I like adventure. If no one else is out there, you don't even need the roads, right? You can just go.
Yeah. Did you lose electricity and all that? I mean,
I think growing up, one time we had like, and I mean, I was like late teens. We had like, no power for a few days type of thing.
Yeah.
But I think I was at college and it happened in my hometown. And since I was in college, they didn't lose everything. So it's kind of, I experienced some of it, but secondhand. You?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You probably had a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, back in the old days.
The plains of Iowa.
You know how that is. Yeah. Yeah, we lost especially when I was a kid, we would lose electricity often if it was an ice storm or snowstorm. And I've been snowed in for like several days where it's like we could get out, but we had to dig out.
Were you and Laura Ingalls Wilder close?
Yes. As a matter of fact,
friends?
My wife and I were watching Little House on the Prairie last night.
Really?
No
way.
I actually...
Wait, is that true?
This is a true story.
That's the first Laura Ingalls Wilder joke I've made in my entire 4 decades on Earth.
That's how we know God is here today.
And you watch Little House on the Prairie. I didn't know anyone watched that anymore.
No. Well, we don't, but my mother is visiting us.
Okay.
And we came home from a trip, and we walk in the house, and she has Little House on the Prairie on. And then my wife grew up watching this, and I didn't really watch it that much, but she's read all the books, and so we sat there and watched it for a few minutes. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
There you go.
I don't know where we're headed with that, but yeah.
All right.
They probably got snowed in a lot. Yeah.
So we're like...
Laura Ingalls.
We're snowed in enough not to gather today, but we're still in the middle of the series. We're learning to move. And I think and we're going to talk about this next week, individually, we put some things in place to help us spiritually. But then if you get a whole bunch of people who are spiritually positioned to take off, some of us are going to take off, which is going by proxy to drag the community forward in some ways. And so I think today what's kind of interesting to talk about maybe is a little bit of like that communal aspect of take off and slow down. I made a joke at the expense of your age, but you have been in church ministry a long time, and you've seen different churches, different iterations, different styles. You've seen the flourishing church. You've seen some failing church.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of... So what is it that helps a church kind of like take off or be positioned to take off?
Wow. It's a big question. I think unity is the first thing that comes into my mind. I mean, you're just kind of thinking back. Every time the group or the church body was unified on a direction and unified on who we wanted to become, how we wanted to influence the community around us, how we wanted to grow, seems like that was a really good sign that we were moving forward.
So how do you get unity? What gets in the way of unity?
There's a lot of things, but the biggest, I guess the first thing comes into my head is the word trust. Like if we have high trust with one another, I think that creates unity. You can feel that within an organization. We're all going together. We trust one another. And I think outside the organization, and this could be a business too, I suppose, but with the church especially, the outside folks looking in can also see whether or not we're trusting one another or we're unified.
Yeah.
So I think trust is kind of that foundation that builds that unity that moves that organization forward.
So predictability of intention.
Yeah, I think so. And anytime that breaks down, and when that trust starts to break down, that organization, that family can begin to not move forward. They stall. So they can stall.
You could talk about stalling, and you can throw questions at me too if you get bored of like being answer man.
I don't have the answers.
It's fun to ask the questions. But when what causes the stalling would be one layer of the question. You could talk about that, but then Snow Day, how do you dig yourself out? You used that phrasing earlier, like once you go too far into like apathetic or distrust or whatever it'd be, apathy, distrust, name it. Is there a way back? Is there a road back? Is there the hard work of digging out, and what would that hard work look like? And of course the answer is restore trust, but then the level beneath that is like, okay,
what do you do to restore
how do you do that?
Trust. Yeah, I think every individual has to take it upon themselves, first of all. So you can't really look at the organization alone, like leadership alone, to do that. I think because we are a body, the leadership can do their part in those things, whatever those things are. But I think all of us have to own that a bit as well, no matter where we are in the family. So you might, and there's so many things, and there have probably been books and books written on this, but I would think it might be something as simple as, hey, we're as an organization or as a group of people going to say, we always tell the truth to the best of our ability. And we do that very consistently. So I think things like that, or we want to have high character. We want the fruits of the Spirit, and we want that consistently.
Yeah.
And I think that probably it's kind of a long haul with trust, right? Everyone knows you build trust over a long period of time, and you lose trust in an instant. Mm-hmm. And so it's a very valuable thing to have in your organization or in your church.
Berenstein Bears.
What? I don't know.
It's a story.
I mean, I know what those are, but yeah.
One of the stories we had, Berenstein Bears, that we used to read to our kids was the kids play soccer in the house. They knock over mom's favorite flower vase. They kind of fib about it, and then she gives them the whole lesson. And it's that.
Yeah.
It's that you kind of lose trust quick. And, I mean, they said a bird flew in and hit it. It was a whole deal. The kids did. But you can rebuild it, but it takes a while. And if you lose it, like, irrevocably, like, it takes longer, or maybe can't happen.
Yeah.
And so I liked what you said, too, at the beginning. The middle was fine. The end was kind of weak. Just kidding.
It's totally fine.
And then, like, throughout, though, you said everyone's kind of got to do it, and then it's a we thing. And I think that's true of, like, we want to tell the truth and stuff, but this is my thought. I don't know. You have more experience, but when it comes to the church, one of the things that I've noticed in the churches that I've worked for, helped out at, everyone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Like, not everyone needs to be like the Muppets and critique what's going on. Like, it's not what happens on stage that matters. On stage is a reflection and an echo of what's happening in the body, sort of. And it's like, everyone should have to do it. So if you're like, man, leadership's not getting anything started. It's like, what did my 8th grade principal used to say? When you point a finger at someone else, you point 3 back at yourself.
Yeah.
It's a dorky phrase, but it's like...
kind of true.
But if you have like a church where it's like... Because the thing you hear in ministry all the time is like 20% of the people do 80% of the work. If you can flip that or something, like 80% of the people are like super involved and they're moving and shaking, know what's going on, telling the truth, doing all the things you're saying, living by the fruit of the Spirit, and putting in effort, not effort for their salvation, but effort to like be on mission. And then the 20%, they're called guests. And they're seeing it and they're like, I want to be part of that.
Right.
How'd you get in? And then it's easy to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like signed up and showed up.
Yeah.
And now we have this like ethos of showing up.
Right.
So I think that's a big thing, like the material, like the consumeristic.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be a church if we want to have vision and grow and build and move and all the cool things. It can't be like Moses doing his thing, and then because every time Moses would go up the mountain, they'd do something. It's got to be someone stepping up into Moses' shoes when Moses is on a business trip or something. It's got to be everyone like, let's go, let's do this thing. I think it's fun to think about this stuff. I guess another thought I have or question I have for you, and maybe like, this is not you answering as someone who's like in charge of anything. And I'm like not in charge of anything.
It's true.
You turn it on the cameras.
Yeah.
And I talk on stage sometimes, but our voice is equal to the person on the couch who's actually giving this their time to watch. Like we're all like parts of this body with different roles or whatever. So I'm not asking you this as like an official statement from the elders or something.
Well, that's good because I'm not one.
Yes. Okay. So I'm asking you this just as like a guy who's gone to church here for a while. Mm-hmm. What is your vision for our community? Our community being Woodcrest.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Chapel, right?
Yeah.
Got the name right?
Little bitty chapel.
Woodcrest Chapel. What would be your like pie in the sky dream scenario for this community, for this group of people?
Wow, that is a huge question. I'm glad I'm not an official in any capacity. I would say a prevailing organization, a church body that influences the outside world, influences Columbia in a very positive way for Jesus, so they can understand that a life with Jesus is really great and it's better than life without Jesus. I would say that. And also growing personally. And I think if we're all growing together to be more like Jesus, then we can love our neighbor as we love ourselves and reach the world, So it kind of comes back to the Great Commandment and the Great Commission. So it's kind of simple in that sense, but it's complicated in the method in which you go about that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where we get kind of caught in the weeds sometimes, in the details. And so we really need to major on the majors, so to speak. Yeah,
I think that's the major on the majors thing's pretty strong. Yeah, because like pretty easy to get distracted by everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I, of course, we want to do things well. That's always on my heart. I want things to be as excellent as they can be, but that became a bad word at some point. Doing things well or excellent. But I think that glorifies God. I think it shows He's a creator. He creates. He created a beautiful planet and world, and I think we need to be a reflection of that. We do that well, other people will see that. How we treat one another is very important. I mean, all of it. And it's hard. I think it is difficult to boil it down to a bumper sticker, and I wouldn't want to try to do that necessarily, but Real People, Real Journey's pretty good. Mm-hmm. But behind that, there's a lot of details. But I'd love us to do the best we can at reaching our community with helpful things, and us continue just to grow as individuals. And I think God takes care of the rest on all that. So it's kind of a big melting pot of things.
Well, that's like the Real People, Real Journey. Maybe that's because I think that's a great phrase, a great maxim, a good thing to live by. But maybe we've done better lately, and this is my perception, at being okay with being real people. Oh yeah. Which may be prerequisite, and maybe that's really good. I think that's been, since I've been here at least, which I'm newer, maybe 4 or 5 years. That's a beautiful thing. Now we got to make good on Real Journey. Right. And make sure we're making good on Real Journey. So to be real people, huge, very important. But then the journey means you got to go somewhere. Right. And so spiritually speaking, if let's say I live till I'm 80, your age, if I'm the exact same as I am now, I went nowhere. Right. And like even the treadmill, it's not even the treadmill picture, because at least if I run on a treadmill, I'm like getting sort of more fit. I'm doing something for my heart. So it's like, so now I think that is like, we are real people. We can look at each other in the eyes. We can be honest consistently. Yeah. And now we need to like, it'd be great to just be like, how are each of us journeying? How are we taking 2 steps forward, maybe we take one step back, but how are we progressing up the mountain? And then if all of us are progressing up the mountain, we're all going to end up the mountain at some point.
Right.
Look around and be like, oh, you're here too. Cool.
Right.
We're on that journey together.
Right.
And look what we got to build by God, by his Spirit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I agree with all of that. I think we've chatted a little bit about systems and having processes to walk through as followers of Christ.
Don't ruin it, because next week that's what we're going to talk about.
That's what you're going to talk about. Yeah, I kind of know. You kind of
can ruin it, because it's going to be like tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
When I talk up there,
I usually don't.
You don't listen, but to the people who do listen,
whatever you say.
And this is a huge weakness of mine when I'm speaking. I probably need to grow in it a little bit, but I think I have a reason why I do it. I trust God, God's Spirit, the Holy Spirit. 2, I trust the person, God's Spirit working through the person. So I'm not a huge fan of like always giving, here's the 5 tidy applications. So if I'm like, my message and like read your Bible more, it's I'm like 15 minutes. It's got to be at 6 a.m. You need to read from 6 to 6:15. You figure it out.
Right.
You and God do work.
Right.
And so it's kind of like that with the systems, where I'm going to talk about these systems and these structures without actually giving anyone any of the systems or structures. Ideas. I trust the reader. Trust the audience.
Well, it does land with us eventually, right? Or ultimately.
Maybe.
I mean, we all have to take the things that God says and you say, well, maybe not everything you say, but what God says, and apply it to ourselves.
So I cut you off, but you were saying systems. And so.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was saying now, but I think just systems would be like a good discipleship track, small groups, community. And I think with Woodcrest specifically, we're really positioned at this point to be a church that, and this is me just bloviating at this point, but to be a church that can present pretty well on the weekends to anyone who walks through the door, but we're kind of positioned to become that church that can also have really strong community and really strong growth.
It's Cheers.
It's
where everybody
Cheers.
Knows your name.
Well, I love that. Yeah, that's right.
You go from Boston, the world feels like Boston, this huge city. No one knows you. You're just walking by each other. And then you go into this little basement bar and you get a, hey, Damon.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
And we love that, right?
And now we can work life out. They work life out in that bar.
Right.
I love that we're referencing shows that like I've seen one episode of and they're like super old. But,
And I've seen that entire, no, I really didn't watch that very much. But yes, exactly. And you can lean one way too hard or the other. And we've talked about, I think you said this last week when you were talking about preaching against the pendulum. You said something like that. Look, I quoted you. Well, I was running your graphics, and so I had to pay attention. But when something's not going well, it doesn't necessarily mean your adjustment needs to be completely the other way.
Yeah, so if you want to be like a small country church or something where everyone knows each other and you can like all eat together in one house, you're probably at some point going to exclude some people, and you might be limited on mission.
Sure.
But if you want to be mega church and just have 17 services, you're probably not going to know each other's names.
Right.
So I think, is that what you're talking about?
And I'm saying we
middle
need that.
road is
we need both of those things.
Do excellence, present
strong.
the gospel clearly, artistically, creatively, in a few different ways, myriad styles or whatever. But then also love each other super well in a way where you show up. Someone will show up who you know when you land in the hospital.
You should preach that.
I'm going to. So next week. Next week.
Yeah.
I don't remember where the verse is. You bloviate some more. I like that you use that word.
Bloviate's a big word.
Did you know you use that word? That's a good one.
Yeah, it's the only big complicated word that I know.
Okay, keep talking about it. I'm going to try and see.
All right. So things that we want to...
Okay, now shut up. Let me read the Bible.
What's God say?
Well, I was thinking about next week. I'm thinking about the series we're in. I'm thinking about where we are positioned as a church, which I think is very exciting too. But Proverbs 29, famous verse, 18. You probably know it.
I have it memorized.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually don't love the NIV's rendering of this.
I don't know what it is.
But I'll give it to you anyway.
Give it to us.
And then we'll adjust it to the version that maybe we're more familiar with, that's crocheted on Granny's pillows. 29:18 says, where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint, but blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instructions.
Oh, is that the King James would say where there's no vision, people perish?
And there's another one that's the word. Well, go ahead.
Better. Well, there's better.
Yeah, you got it.
I don't know.
Where there's no vision of the Lord.
Oh.
The people perish.
Okay.
And so like there's different layers of this thing. But it is like, I just like that idea, because when you're talking about unity and us kind of being on the same page and trusting that page. Some of that is vision. And sometimes vision starts with some really gifted leader in a basement drawing on a whiteboard and then selling the masses on his, maybe like
Sometimes.
Steve Jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Most times, vision starts with a group of people deciding
Right.
and agreeing and amending and fixing and editing. And then all of a sudden they have something and they march.
Right.
And I think that's where we want to position ourselves, and what we're going to be talking about next week and maybe some future weeks is like, what's my hope for myself and this place? How do I fit into God's plan? And then what's my hope for this church, and how do we mission well together? And then I share that and amend it and edit it and be humble with it. And you do too. And we all round it up. And it's this beautiful picture, this tapestry of hope.
And that's what journey looks like.
It's what journey looks like.
How do you want to wrap it up?
The snow is going to melt. And then we're going to get back together next week. And it's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. And you're going to give us amazing information on systems that aren't really detailed.
Yeah, it's like the most, I can sell you on this.
Okay.
If you come, this sermon will be the most mediocre sermon of your life. And you know what?
I'm so excited about that.
God is going to use it mightily.
That's right.
And the music's going to be good or good enough. And the gathering, but us together, that's where the power is. And so we're going to learn a little more about God and what he says. He's going to speak to our hearts through his word. We're going to sing and like open ourselves up to God and experience him, enter his gates with thanksgiving. And then we're going to like hug the people we know, handshake the people we know less, fist pound the people we think might be sick. And then we're going to go into our Monday on mission, and we're just going to keep doing that and see where we land. But so yeah, it's going to thaw. You're going to come. And then like you could this week make it a challenge to think about your own personal vision for yourself and for this church. And then also like, this is always an open opportunity, because it's part of my vision is like, let's invite a few people.
That'd be awesome.
Not to be a mega church, but like, let's fill all those blue chairs.
Sure.
Yeah, it'd be great. So invite someone, come back. That's how I want to end it. You're
Okay.
invited. You are invited to be part of this.
Let's go to church.
Let's go to church.
All right.
But not today.
No, not today. No, it's canceled today, but we'll see you next week.
You good if I'm
Yeah.
here for another like 20 or 30 minutes? I got to layer up.
Yeah, go ahead. Get started.
And then
It's
I'm gonna-
cold out.
Then we'll march home. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well, thanks for
All
your time,
right.
Damon. Thank
Yep.
you all.
Water falling like a song. An everlasting stream, your river carries me.